Hey, Dr. Baron Grutter here. I just want to make a very quick video, hopefully very quick. It's just honestly to answer a question that's come up a few times, and I guess I've not done a great job of answering this in previous videos. So I'm going to show you how to, after you brought in the model you're planning to treat on, to how to bring in the opposing model. And how to bring it in occlusion. I know that sometimes is confusing. So in this case, I'm going to bring in the lower arch and so sorry. Anyways, let's go ahead and move forward with it. By the way, at the end of the video, I'll explain more of the why this works. But at the beginning, I'm just going to show you how. That way, if you don't care about why, you don't need to mess with that. So anyway, I'm going to bring in first of all the mandibular anatomy. I'm just going to drag and drop it. You can go into the file, import STL, and so on and so forth. I'm a drag and drop kind of person. So make sure that it's clicked on the mandible. Click align. There are ways to use points and whatnot, but the software has come such an enormously long way, and it does such an awesome job of auto aligning. I don't even know for certain it'll work on this one, but it works basically 99% of the time for me. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but it doesn't feel like it. I don't remember the last time I've had to manually align, and especially with a case like this where there's so few metal restorations. Yeah, it's a perfect stitch. And I mean, I don't know that from this. I evaluate it in this screen here, in the 3 cross sections and on the occlusal one. But it's I don't even have to really mess with it. I can tell you right off the bat, it's a perfect stitch. So, all right, good to go. So here's the trick, the novelty here is we're gonna go ahead and you don't need to maximize it. I just did it out of habit. I'm gonna drag and drop the maxillary anatomy in now. It's going to load, and it's going to be out of whack. It's going to be off to where the other model was. You see it's right down here. It's certainly not aligned with the upper teeth. It's not aligned with the, in opposing. I'm not going to click on align. I'm just going to click cancel. Okay? So, the programmers might have a better way to do this or a different way. They might want you to press different buttons, but here's what works for me. I'm going to click on align to model. I am not going to use points. It's automatically selected to the mandibular anatomy. There's no other model to select to align it to, but whatever. So that's the one. Click OK, and there we go. It's perfectly aligned. Okay. So here are the. If I turn on the surfaces, you will see that the models are in occlusion. I can turn this off. There you go. So that's all you do. Let me rehash that. I'm going to click Control Z just to undo that. All I did was in the model manipulation panel, I clicked align to model, left this unchecked, and click OK. And it snaps right into occlusion. Now, so that's the end of the video. That's the end of the technique. Okay, it's not the end of the video. It's the end of the technique. If that's all you want to know, fine. Now you know how to do it. But let me explain now why this works. The reason is in my Carestream camera, when I created these models. Let me pause for just a second. Sorry, I had to take a quick phone call. Hopefully, I can pick up where I left off. So the reason is when I took these impressions, these scans in my Carestream CS3600, or in my OmniCam, or if you're using Trios, you're using Medit, you're using whatever. So long as you export those models in occlusion, which is the default of most scanners, I believe the iTero has the ability to export out of occlusion. Why you'd want to do that, I don't know. Maybe I'm sure there's a logical reason. I just don't know what it is. But generally speaking, when you export the models, it's going to spit out 2 models, just like this folder I have right here. It's got them named. This is straight out of the Carestream software. It spits them out in occlusion. That's why if I open them up in Mesh Mixer, as I'm doing right now, they're already in occlusion. So when I bring them into, sorry, let me finish that thought so you can see, so I'm not like just talking over myself and you're trying to figure out what's going on. So you can see they're in occlusion. Okay, so when I brought that lower into BlueSkyPlan, and then I dragged I aligned it. Well, then I dragged the upper and the opposing in, whichever that is, the opposing model, and then I told it to automatically align to the model. What it's doing is it's using the coordinate system that is mirrored between the models. It's not actually looking at the points on this. It's just saying, oh, well, this model moved over this far. Well, then this model also has to move over that far. That's all it is. because they both came from the same coordinate system. It knows to move that same distance. That's why it's so quick, so easy. You do not need to go into Mesh Mixer. You don't need to select them both and then combine them and then export them as one byte registration. I used to do that. I don't know if I even needed to do it at the time. At some point, I finally realized by mistake that I could simply click on this and it would automatically snap together. So I'm sure it was intentional in the programming or whatever, but that's why it works. So that's it. Hopefully that explains both the process and the how and why of this approach. So, all right, thanks so much. Bye for now.